70 crore is the loss that you have for the standalone business, and revenue as well is down substantially from 5,000 crores to 1943 crores. That's the standalone number that we are looking at right now. But again, how much of this is in the price, we would find out soon enough, I guess. But Mr. Ulsan, thanks a lot for joining us. Vaibhav Sanghvi, co-CEO of Avendus, is now joining us. Avendus Capital Alternate Strategies, that is. Vaibhav, good afternoon. So, have you pruned your long positions, increased short exposure, or is this an all-out long market for you now?
No, it's never an all-out long market, right, Manoj? Because yes, but the underlying kind of conditions are pretty much favorable for an elongated bull market. Of course, when I say elongated bull market, is with always the caveat that in the shorter term, the volatility and the correction might be there. Purely because in a liquidity-driven market, the corrections can be quite sharp, brisk, and swift. So one has to definitely take care of those. But in an environment where globally the liquidity is so huge, it's very difficult to probably be out of the market. So of course we've started kind of putting our money to work some bit, but we'll gradually keep on kind of increasing as we see markets, if there are any dips to be added on.
Well, you know what, Vaibhav, good afternoon. Good to see that, like us, you're also at work. Very rarely do we get to talk to guests who are also in their offices, but it's a sign of things. It's a sign of where we are, perhaps. We were just discussing this earlier on the show as well. I just want to understand the market's reaction today to earnings like, a Shoppers Stop. There's a loss, EBITDA loss, there's a net profit loss, or a Bharat Forge, or a Ashok Leyland. Weak earnings, but stocks are flying 10, 12, 15%. Is this insanity, borderline insanity, or is this the market very rightfully looking at 6 months down the line?
No, of course, markets are markets at the end of it. And what markets have already discounted is basically 1 quarter of virtually no business. And that is pretty much factored in. Now what the market is looking at is basically if a vaccine is pretty much there in 6 months period, and if things are going to go back to normal, we would be in the situation like something like a January. Now, the only difference between January and now is the additional global stimulus of about $20 trillion across monetary and fiscal. Now, if you consider that, it's hard to kind of ignore that kind of amount and quantum of liquidity, and precisely by which, if we are looking at that things kind of getting normalized, is when markets would say that, hey guys, this is getting normalized, and we need to be looking at not the shorter term distorted, dislocated earnings, but on a FY22 basis, how strong are these companies and what is the earning potential which can happen. So maybe the markets are discounting a little more just because that the current temporary situation is pretty abnormal.
Okay, by the way, just, I want to point out, Grasim's commentary is quite reasonable. I mean, if you're looking at, they're saying that it's the caustic soda production has staged a strong recovery in volumes, and it improved to 70% in the month of June versus a low of 23% in April, and that these numbers should be looked at in context of the kind of, demand environment that we had and the washout quarter that we had. So once again, not surprised that the stocks not breaking lows. In fact, from the lower level, there's quite a bit of rally which is happening on Grasim now, and that's of course a stock which is now moving to perhaps the high point of the day. In fact, it will be interesting to see if it can take out the intraday high as well, because the commentary is reasonably bullish on Grasim, and it's been a strong stock. In fact, the entire AB Birla Group stocks have been quite strong, and that one right now is saying, in fact, now as we speak, it's almost about to hit the intraday high, and that has been, it's been that kind of a market where, from the lower levels, on the promise of a better next quarter, stocks start to see recovery, and that's what's happening with Grasim as well. Now, we've seen that play out, especially in auto names, quite a bit, Vaibhav, but is this now sort of running ahead of itself, this whole hope trade?
Again, it's a very difficult question, right? Because we don't know, whether it's running higher or probably it's going back to normal. One thing we need to realize is basically, as I said, that the only difference between January and now is the additional stimulus which has been there and on a path to get normalized. What we also need to understand is because of this additional stimulus, the possibility of PE expansions or valuation multiples going higher is pretty much there. Like what we saw in about 2008 and 9. Again, we can go back to the same kind of story where even after suboptimal growth, the P's continue to expand. And that is what we are probably seeing. And it can remain elevated for a very long period of time, which makes me believe that while the markets are rallying, the disbelief and the discomfort of investors would always be there, and the conviction which with the investors would be pretty low, which can probably make the rallies a little shallow.
Vaibhav, let's come down to what you are liking in the market right now. And I know that, we spoke and you said consumer discretionary is something that you're looking at. Now, what all do you put in that basket? Are you looking at stocks, I mean, some of the erstwhile high-flying urban stocks like a PVR, or how do you describe discretionary?
Sure. When I talk about consumer discretionary, and you're right that this is something which we are liking, we would say anything with discretionary spend of a consumer, including your autos, and it also includes, something like paints, construction materials, and an urban consumption as well, which is a little departure from our, always to be bullish consumer staple stand. I'm not saying that those companies would not do well, but the relative opportunity of being invested in consumer discretionary when things are getting normalized, the delta of returns can be much higher.
Okay, that's on discretionary. Let's talk about some risk factors for this market then, Vaibhav. What to your mind would be the big risk factor? Because now almost is a bit of a consensus building up that we could even make a move towards all-time highs.
Sure. And, whenever there's a consensus, it itself is a big risk factor, no doubt about it. But yeah, what we need to understand from a global perspective is one, that any sharp retracement back on the DXY is something which can trigger a risk off. At the same time, any potential geopolitical situation or a standoff between US and China is again an event which needs to be watched out. We will also have to, kind of realize that, which I said a while ago, that these markets or these rallies are a little shallow. So whenever there is a risk of event which may come about, if there is in the global market, then you might see the markets correcting pretty swift, sharp, briskly, and within a very short period of time, after which again the liquidity would kind of come and kind of support the market. So the corrections may be few, a little sharp, but very short as well.
Vaibhav, final question from my side. What's the risk appetite out there, like especially with the ultra HNIs that you interact with? Are people still willing to put in a lot of money now at these levels after this rally?
No, I think, the sharp rally actually, has kind of unsettled the investors, and especially, if you see retail or HNIs. The reason being basically that people are looking back in terms of what were the March or April prices, and now since the markets have rallied, whether it is that we've kind of missed the boat. So there is a lot of disbelief in this rally to whoever we speak to. My sense is basically if the market is able to spend some time here in terms of consolidating or probably giving a smaller correction, my sense is basically you will see those kind of investors coming back. But it will take some amount of time for them to kind of digest the kind of move which has happened from the March lows.
Okay, Vaibhav, we leave it there today. Thanks a lot for joining us. Good talking to you. We will take a break. Before that, the 3 p.m. move, well, today is one of those expiries where it squarely belongs to the option writers. There's been a lot of selling at 11,300 call and put. There's been a lot of selling at all the strikes of 22,200 to 22,500 on the Bank Nifty through the day today. And that's really the option premium meeting which is on, which has happened today. So could be an interesting trading session tomorrow, but today has been about the option writers. We'll take a break and we'll come back with technical calls for tomorrow, the BTST calls.